So I have my Venso bike here. I'm giving it a wash. And I have had that Bucklos 120mm air fork on it. Now I've ridden 40 miles. It's not a whole lot, but 40 miles on it. But they've been on real mountain biking trails, blue trails, nothing black or anything like that, but solid blue trails with plenty of roots, bumps, all kind of stuff. Sometimes I use the bike when I go with a friend of mine that's kind of getting started out in mountain biking. He uses this one and I use my other bike. All right, so I got the Bucklos suspension fork off my bike. So for this, you need a 2mm hex to remove the knob. You're gonna need a 12mm open-ended wrench like this one to remove this nut. On the other leg, there is a 5mm hex. And then since I'm going to take it completely apart, if you just want to do the lower legs, that's all you need. I'm going to take the top apart too, so I'm going to need a 26mm socket. So I removed the 5mm bolt from the air side and the 12mm nut from the lockout side. All right, so I put the screw back in, tap that leg in, and this one actually just pushed in. So now I can remove the lowers from the uppers. So this is the lockout side, and you can see the cartridge in there. It's actually a little oil in there. Actually, that's just grease. And then on the air side, you can see the air cartridge there. There's actually a big old bolt here that we'll probably leave alone. The grease on here actually seems like quality grease, like it's actually shop grease. It's nice, it's thin, it's not very sticky. So then we'll remove this and see what's in the chamber. So now we remove the top. Has that O-ring there. There's definitely oil in there. How much and what weight, I have no idea. So there's definitely some kind of plunger in there. You can see the oil there. Let me put it into a cup. Oh, and that oil is nice and dirty already after 40 miles. Very similar to the XCR Air. There's probably about 5 mLs of oil in there. The XCR Air uses 80 weight, which is kind of hard to find. So we're gonna use a wooden dowel to finish pushing this through the top. And you might want to be more careful than I was pushing that over the top. So yeah, that's very similar to the XCR or the Suntour forks. And there's that plunger. We'll set this one aside. And then here's the inner assembly. It's incredible that it looks already kind of dirty. So I'm just gonna clean that up and re-lube it. All right, so I removed the cap for the lockout. It's just those 2mm bolts. So I'm gonna take my Suntour tool, which yeah, fits right in there. So yeah, that's looking more and more like a Suntour imitation fork. So none of that was very tight. So when you put it back together, make sure you don't over tighten anything. And yeah, it's just a cartridge. All right, so there you have it. That's what's inside one of these Bucklos forks. It seems that to actually be a rather solidly built fork and very similar to a Suntour. So this is the air side where you have the air valve, the plunger, there's oil in that chamber. You have the spring with the shaft, and you have the 5mm bolt. On the lockout side, or the dampener side, you have your dampener cartridge that is adjustable for the rebound, and you have your knob that'll go at the bottom, but basically pretty straightforward. All right, so there's pretty much all disassembled. Here are the lowers, and the lowers are really light. You have your dust wipers, and if you look in there, might be hard to see, but there are sleeves in there. So there's like plastic sleeves, and I'm a little reluctant to remove these wipers right now in case I can't get them back in, or I damage them taking them out. But yeah, there's sleeves there. You can see one right here. So now to put it back together. So after some closer inspection, it seemed like those scratches were pretty superficial, so I went ahead and put it back on because the fork does look really good on the bike, and I'll just stick to tame trails on it, just maybe green and mild blues on it, not torture it too much. If it breaks, I'll report back with to the both pieces of the fork. Okay, so give it a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe. Thanks for watching.